Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. I trust that if you found this message, it is meant for you. I'm coming on today with a general collective energy update and tarot reading. This is for the spiritual collective, which may include those who identify as twin flames. But regardless, I trust if you're here that there's a message here for you. We're starting off right off the bat with the Eight of Pentacles. And every time I receive this card, and I'm getting chills channeling into this, I am brought to this vision of the collective mastering their craft. And while the Eight of Pentacles, being the pentacle earthly sign, can very much speak to career, finances, and those aspects of the material realm, I really strongly feel that the meaning of this card in this context is about your inner work and your spiritual journey. And the message of keep going, keep on, like you are on track. And we're also getting the Page of Cups, which is showing me that anywhere that you find curiosity, especially that is coming from the heart and that is in emotional alignment, that is where you should be directing your energy. You should be following that trail. And with the Eight of Pentacles and Page of Cups together, I'm feeling for this collective, this is a side message, but you may feel like with a lot of the work that you do, it feels like you're going through the motions. And at times it can feel like it's lost that kind of newness, or it's lost the, not excitement, but it kind of feels like it's monotonous or the same routines. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But the Page of Cups is showing up for those who may feel that way. And it's reminding you to go towards what brings you passion. And it doesn't mean to leave behind the parts of your routine or the parts of your journey that require that kind of monotonous routine. Sometimes those are very necessary and just a part of life, but sometimes we also crave some feeling of newness, some feeling of a new beginning, a new gesture, or, some kind of action that's coming from an inner thought and feeling that is driving you towards something new. And it's a soul-led pivot. And of course, the Page of Cups can also represent romantic gestures, things like this. But of course, all of my readings are meant to touch on your inner world and not any kind of external predictions. But the Page of Cups on an internal level is very much you making a gesture to yourself. And there is this aspect of it being a romantic or emotional gesture of, I want you to feel loved and excited and passionate and emotionally fulfilled. We're also getting the Queen of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. So really interesting energy coming through. So I'm feeling like on your spiritual journey, there may be certain aspects that you are balancing or juggling, or maybe even your spiritual journey with your other facets of life. Maybe there's this sense of work-life balance, or, it's like your personal life, how much of it is going towards your friendships or just certain obligations versus how much of it is going towards your own inner work and your own spiritual journey. And the Queen of Cups is showing up because she is the master of her inner world, of her emotional world. She's incredibly intuitive and in touch with her emotions. And there is this ebb and flow energy with the Two of Pentacles, which is very natural in our emotional world. But the Two of Pentacles can be, there's many levels of this that are coming to me. So I'm going to try to explain it clearly. But the Two of Pentacles can be showing up for this collective in a variety of ways. It could be that you are struggling to balance your spiritual journey with your other facets of life. in which case the Queen of Cups energy and the Page of Cups energy is coming in to remind you that you always have that inner intuitive wisdom and that emotional sense to, in a calm and soul-aligned way, nudge you towards the directions, towards the opportunities that you're meant to be pursuing and following. On another level, the spiritual journey can have a lot of ebb and flows within itself, or different aspects to juggle within itself. So perhaps there's a lot of shadow work that you've been doing. Maybe it's in many different areas of your life, and it feels like there's a lot to put your time and energy and effort into. And so again, the Page of Cups and Queen of Cups are coming through because they're reminding you that you have the inner wisdom to know what should be prioritized at this time. Similarly, the emotional world itself naturally, inherently consists of a lot of ebbs and flows and changes in emotions, which can also at times, with the Two of Pentacles, be difficult to juggle. So I want to pull more cards on this. We have the Page of Cups and Queen of Cups, which are showing us that we're meant to be following those emotions, following that intuitive sense when it feels like we don't have the bandwidth or the time or energy to juggle different aspects of our journey. And I'm pulling the Clear Endeavor Oracle card. And we actually got this card recently, and it's all about really getting clear on that which you want to be pursuing. And it's also about making that decision. So with the Two of Pentacles being clarified by this Clear Endeavor card, the Clear Endeavor card is saying that something that you desire requires a bigger commitment from you. You need to get clear on what it is that you should be pursuing. And to commit to this one goal will require you to choose it and to put in that time. And this could be any kind of commitment or effort from you. It could be physical, emotional, mental. It could just be the inner shift that you identify as. So as you're working through your spiritual journey, your shadow work, really listen to your inner voice as to what is the number one piece of inner work that is being required of you at this time. Because when you put your effort and your energy into that and you give your best to it, you will experience incredible quantum leaps because you've committed to it and you've identified with that higher version of self in that one area. And then all of the other things that you seemingly had to juggle before will also follow, and they will fall into place. But pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that are being shown to you as it relates to what goal should be prioritized and should be receiving your hard work and commitment at this time. We're also getting the Page of Wands card. So it's really interesting that we got both the Page of Cups as well as the Page of Wands. And this is about a new creative idea. So, and I'm loving the duality of the cups and the wands, which is water and fire, which is our feminine and our masculine, which of course are not necessarily related to gender, but it's our inner divine feminine, our inner divine masculine, which speaks to the duality of the energies within us. And of course, the Two of Pentacles also bringing forth that archetype of duality. But with the Page of Cups, that represents those feelings, those emotions on a heart level that lead us to new beginnings, new ideas. It's a very reflective energy. And it's very much that inner divine feminine that I'm picking up on. And I'm getting chills channeling into this because then when we jump to the Page of Wands energy, after we've reflected and we've gotten clear on our goal with the Clear Endeavor card, now we're getting the Page of Wands energy, which is the new beginnings, a messenger perhaps, new communications, but it's creative ideas that are from the imagination and from the creative mind, which is what the suit of the wands speaks on. And both of these cards speak to great abundant potential, but it's also a young and fragile seed that needs to be nurtured and protected. So again, with the clear endeavor card, there takes a great amount of hard work and commitment to nurture these ideas, nurture these seeds into growth. With the Page of Wands, this could, and the Page of Cups actually, both could talk about artistic talent or anything that comes from an emotionally aligned place and that is channeled through creative work. It could be writing a book or any kind of artistry that you partake in. But even if this is just speaking to your general spiritual journey, again, with the Eight of Pentacles being our first card that came out, this, of course, is about mastering your craft. And that craft could be your work or your hobbies, whether it's an artistic or creative hobby, or it could very much be your spiritual journey, and really finding that balance of the inner divine feminine and inner divine masculine by listening to your intuition with the Queen of Cups, and by also taking that reflective time so that you can get clear on your goals, so you don't feel like you're juggling multiple priorities on the spiritual journey. So I want to see what else we can channel here. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. Really interesting. So, of course, the Four is meant to represent stability. With the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups, this often represents, with the Four of Pentacles, a desire for stability, but a feeling of clinging on to something, or feeling kind of this fear or doubt or suspicion. And with the Four of Cups, that's, of course, representing this feeling of grief or disappointment, or feeling like what you have is not enough. It's this scarcity mindset. And with the Four of Cups, there's 3 cups in front of them and a fourth is being handed to them, but they're so discontent with the 3 cups in front of them that they're not able to see the new opportunity being presented to them. So there's a message coming through about releasing control, releasing resistance, and embodying more gratitude. We also have the Hanged Man. Yeah, exactly. The Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Wow. So I'm getting chills with these cards, because we're again getting this beautiful duality of fire and water with the Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, both being aces. And we both got the page for these elements as well. And so the Hanged Man is coming in to represent a need for pivoting our attitude or perspective or approach. With the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups, we are being called to notice the blessings in our reality and to release the anxieties or the fears or these feelings that are holding us back. And the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups represents these new beginnings where we are emotionally and creatively inspired by some kind of feeling or spark of energy. And it's about remembering on a deep level that there's an enormous amount of abundance when we tap into that enthusiasm and optimism and emotional fulfillment that is always available to us, whether we're internally conjuring it from nothing or whether we are partaking in creative processes or experiences in life that help us remember those feelings of abundance. So I want to pull another oracle card here to see if there's any guidance. We have breakthrough. Yeah, exactly. So the breakthrough card speaks about, of course, having a breakthrough. And this is about the work that you've done, we've started with the Eight of Pentacles, and the number on this breakthrough card is 8. So I'm really feeling, and I'm getting chills again, I'm feeling into this full circle moment where you are a master of your craft. You've got your head down with the Eight of Pentacles. You're working really hard. We're going through all of these ebbs and flows, seeking balance in our life, seeking union of the inner divine feminine, inner divine masculine, working with the inner divine feminine energies, working with the inner divine masculine energies, having this beautiful balance of reflection, getting clear on our goals, and then taking aligned action forward and releasing those old limiting beliefs and those old ways we used to navigate through life with scarcity and lack mindset. And this breakthrough comes through because you realize that things are always falling into place. And so you are blessed with this upsurge of confidence. And it's like a seed that is just, I feel like I use the seed metaphor in almost every reading because it's such a resonating analogy for this collective, because so many of us are breaking patterns, breaking ancestral, karmic, generational patterns. We are overcoming our own internal limiting ways of being, limiting beliefs, and we're planting seeds constantly among this journey. And so I feel like it's such a beautiful analogy. And with the breakthrough card, it's literally the moment that the seed begins to sprout. You start to recognize, you start to feel the change on an internal level. And you can feel yourself navigating through life in such a higher frequency. And you can recognize that it's because of all the work you've done. And so you enter this upward spiral because you're proud of yourself for all the work you've done, which makes you feel more confident, which then magnetizes and attracts more blessings to you, which then repeats this upward spiral and cycle over and over again. So recognizing your gifts, recognizing your ability to generate and create and manifest all of the wonderful things that you seek in life, recognizing the beautiful creative touch that you have both literally and physically in the projects you do, as well as on an energetic level, and taking that moment to feel accomplished and feel proud of yourself. That's what the breakthrough card is all about. And so if this really just sums up the spiritual journey, the movement of these cards that have shown up in this reading, it's always about committing to your craft, getting clear on the goal, working with those energies, and getting to a breakthrough. Over and over again, we complete this kind of cycle. So I want to pull a couple more general oracle cards here. We have happiness. Immense delight can be found in the smallest of things. Cultivate fluttering moments of joy. And there is a hummingbird on this card, so that could be a significant symbolism for somebody. And we also have power. Call upon the elements, focus your intentions. So again, it's like finding your inner power and making the decision, with the clear endeavor card, getting clear on what you want by calling upon your inner power. And even in a ritual or ceremonial way, taking that time to express and feel gratitude for your sacred journey and to surrender to it. And that's why calling upon the elements, earth, water, fire, and air, are such a beautiful way to see the archetypes and the energies in everything we do. And this is what brings you to happiness, because it leads you to the empowerment that then leads you to make aligned decisions and to follow aligned opportunities. And with the happiness card speaking on how delight can be found in the smallest of things, there's a message about not feeling like every cycle has to be this big, heavy, challenging, but also rewarding breakthrough. And many of them will be, but simple happiness can be found in the smallest of things. And so you'll find that the buildup of allowing yourself these small moments of joy, these small moments of gratitude, will add up and culminate into this breakthrough. So another way to say this is that instead of aiming for every cycle of this upward spiral to be really big and heavy and dramatic, it can also just be a culmination of these little moments where you rewire how you used to think about things before. The Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups can be slowly and in baby steps rewired into gratitude and surrender. It doesn't have to be this complete overhaul and a death to self and a rebirth of self in such a dramatic way. And to be honest, many times it will be, but the happiness card is coming through to remind ourselves that even the little steps that you're doing, again, with the Eight of Pentacles, having your head down, a master of your craft, the little steps that you can take, especially when the Two of Pentacles comes up to challenge us, where we feel out of balance, where we feel like we don't know what to prioritize, where it feels like there's so much to do. Finding those little moments and those little steps that you can take can make all of the difference to continue that momentum on that upward spiral. So I'm going to leave the reading here. I would love to hear from you in the comments if anything resonated. And thank you so much for being here and for listening. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.